Alright, so we're taking a look at one of the newer variants of Mono Green that's been popping up. Mono Green obviously kind of flew under the radar since the banning of Karn, Amalia coming into the format, and so many other things going on. But people have been slowly working away, and the deck has kind of exploded over the last month or so. Obviously, biggest thing gained for it is 4 copies of Leyline of the Guildpact from, never set that was from, but basically, a lot of them taken to Invasion of Ixalan rather than Oath of Nissa. And then the newer one from the newest set, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, is Outcaster Trailblazer. It doesn't really add to your devotion count, but it does allow you to draw an absurd amount of cards if it stays on the battlefield. This can allow you to overload your opponent's mana, especially against decks like Control. Just kind of outgrind and literally draw your entire deck in a very quick blaze of nonsense with Kiora and Outcaster Trailblazer going on, especially if for some reason you happen to get Elesh Norn into play. The rest of the deck isn't too weird from what was 4 Elvish Mystic, 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 copies of Kiora, Behemoth, Beckoner, Old Ghost Troll, and Cavalier of Thorns, all kind of staples along with Storm the Festival. The newer additions, in addition to Outcaster Trailblazer drawing you a bunch of cards, is Ulvenwald Oddity, which is kind of a pseudo Craterhoof Behemoth effect. It's a 4/4 for 4 with haste and trample, and then if you transform it, all of your creatures get +1/+1 trample and haste, and itself has trample and haste. Very powerful card that can get very scary very quickly, especially if left in play. Elesh Norn can randomly shut down some things. It's a 1-card shutdown for Amalia combo, elves, humans triggers, whole bunch of other things this can help shut down. So it being a 1-of, not too crazy, especially when you have, Sunken Citadel you can get for white, Temple Garden you can find as a 1-of, or sometimes just Nykthos with Leyline of the Guildpact. It's not all that difficult to cast. The sideboard, not really sure what to make of this. It's just one of the sideboards I found on one of the easier Explorer imports rather than importing a Pioneer version to Explorer. Copies Pick Your Poison. Obviously there are artifacts and enchantments you can blow up with this. That can be pretty reasonable in the mirror match, blowing up opposing Leyline, slowing your opponent down. Can also be reasonable against the artifact decks like in Soul. 2 copies of the Stone Marine for any type of combo nonsense, whether you would be up against Lotus Field combo, whether you'd be up against Quintorius combo, anything that can slow your opponent down, take out their main win con. Elder Gargaros, primarily for the creature-based matchups, also good especially against spirits and stuff if you can resolve it. 4 copies of Voracious Hydra. I'm presuming this is mostly for the aggro and mid-range matchups, although I did bring it in as additional threats against Blue-White X Control in this video that you'll be seeing. Tolsimir, definitely kind of a game-stabilizing card against any type of aggressive decks, especially mono-red. Cityscape Leveler was used to be a staple in the main deck, now it's just a nice sideboard card in the grindy mid-range and control matchups. And then, kind of the control killer, Tyrannix Rex, 7 mana 8/8 with Trample, Haste, Ward 4, and Toxic 4, meaning even if your opponent can get out of damage range, they may not be able to get out of toxic range, and 3 hits with either copy of these just kind of win the game. That is Green, Splash White Devotion. Let's get into a couple matches to see how this deck plays out now in the current Explorer format. Alright, we're here. Some mono green nonsense. This hand's a pretty reasonable opening overall. Turn 2 Kiora. Paired against blue-white, looks like. Citadel's only particularly good with green. Let's see if our opponent wastes a counter spell on this. I love the blue-white control, like 30-second tank to make any decision. It's always hilarious. I have this sensor in my hand. I'm going to take 45 seconds to figure out I want to cast it. No reason to attack in what could easily have been a actually kind of want our opponent to Wrath here. It's 4 or 5. Go ahead and cast this, or attack with this first. See if we can trigger a Wandering Emperor here, and then turn around and cast Storm the Festival post-combat. That also works. Does Elesh Norn do anything here? Okay. Yep, draw a bunch of cards. Okay. Well, it's probably got a firewall lined up here would be my guess. Okay, or they just die. That works too. Blue white control. Probably want Leveler. Some Tyrannus Rexes for this matchup. Pick your poison. I guess it could come in against Temporary Lockdown, but not really. Yeah, try 61. Beaten up on blue-white a couple of times in the best of one queue as I was kind of prepping for this video, as it's been a minute since we've revisited mono green, and mono green's certainly a deck that has resurged a lot lately, so I mean, a lot of games mono green go burr, so. Saying that's the most explosive, but we'll probably keep it. Yeah, that's a little late to the party. Guess it's possible I was supposed to board out some amount of those, actually. "30-second tank, do I wanna cast Censor? Oh no, I really don't." I'm gonna tank for 20 minutes now. Blue white, that's what we do. Have a Censor in my hand, but I don't wanna cast it. Blue white, it's what we do. Sure. Mm-hmm. Tank, tank, tank. Tank, tank, tank. Tank like blue white. Tank like blue white. Tank, tank, tank. Tank, tank, tank. Tank like blue white. We have to tank for 45 seconds to make a decision, yes. 'Cause we don't know how to be definitive. 'Cause then we're just blue-white. Mm-hmm. One, two, da. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Actually, that was kind of dumb. I probably should have put Tyrannix Rex back on top. Third copy of No More Lies. Yay! Okay. I've been able to play that last turn. We would have at least been able to threaten lethal this turn, so mistakes were made. Let's get these out of the deck. Explosiveness is important, but at the same time, yeah, we'll try to hand what's all mana, all invasions. Turn one, Plains Warble. No, surprisingly. Supreme Verdict, shocker. So I pitch a Kiora. Alright, do you have... Tyrannix Rex to the rescue. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Five, six. Cast. Lair of the Hydra. Game. Nice. Alright, match 2. We have one of the nuttier openings here. Doesn't do anything till turn 3, but still is kind of redonkulous. White. Okay. I say, is this March of Otherworldly Light? Does seem to be the case. Probably should have actually untapped that. Alright, opponent concedes. I respect fast blue white control players. Norn can go out. Leylines can go out. I'm not sure in this matchup if I'm supposed to be cutting Leylines or if I'm supposed to be cutting some amount of Elvish Mystics. I could do better. Sand is somewhat better, I guess. Turn 1. Go. Plot. Opponent gets nothing out of their turn. Sure. Not casting this just because good chance our opponent wants to sweep the board here. Not exactly my favorite play to make here, but Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Here we go. Okay. That was a questionable decision. So I presume here comes the Wandering Emperor. Okay. Green. Why wouldn't you flash back the larger deluge? Mm-hmm. Master opponent. Mm-hmm. On that. Okay. Go ahead and play Invasion here. Alright, and that is enough for opponent to scoop. Nice 2 victories over blue-white control.